1360 WVOX.
Good morning, 7:36 Thursday, October 18th, 2012. Crystal clear skies, 43 degrees on its way to the low 60s today. The skies will stay clear. On the telephone right now, he's the chairman of the County Board of Legislators here in Westchester. Please welcome Ken Jenkins. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Bob, and good morning, Westchester.
We got to tape that and put it on again. Good morning, Westchester. We like that. Mr. Jenkins, the 500-pound gorilla in the local news, at least on a county level, is Rye Playland. As you know, the county executive signed on with a group from Rye, and even conservative callers to this radio station ain't happy about it. How will the county board react to the decision that he made? What do you think about the decision that was made?
Well, first, his decision is a recommendation. The board, when it finally receives whatever proposal the county executive has, which we have not, will be able to go through the details and to understand what things that make sense and what things don't make sense for the people of Westchester. Overall, there's certainly good concepts in it. I think there's things that the board members have indicated that they're supportive of, but in addition to that, you got to go through the finances because the devil's in the details, and we don't have any.
Well,
so we have a nice group that's Sustainable Playland for all of the things that we know about Sustainable Playland, and we do know a lot about them. They're good people, and they have a good idea that they'd like to move forward. But now we got to take out the pencils and the paper and look at the details and look at the numbers and see what makes sense, because the Board of Legislators controls the property at Playland, and it's just that simple. There can't even be a memo of intent, because that's what they signed, was a letter of intent. There's nothing past that point right now. So we're going to do our due diligence. I know that we're having them in next week, Sustainable Playland, but we're also going to look at the other proposals because at the end of the day, this is a math question as well, and what things balance off for the quality of life for the people of Westchester County, as well as the finances for the people of Westchester County.
Mr. Jenkins, careful words are required here, but on behalf of our callers and listeners, and on my part, the careful words, and these are people who you would by no means call Republicans and by no means call conservatives, and so this may come as maybe even a bit of a surprise. There is a sensibility that the group that put this plan forward, A, are contributors to the county exec, B, are interested in minimizing both the footprint and the types of people that come to the park for the express purpose, or at least for the alleged purpose, of keeping Rye nice and tony and keeping bad elements out of their neighborhood. And they do look at this decision as something, a bit of kind of making a class distinction and keeping it tony, if you will.
Well, something, I think that the proposal as it has been laid out does absolutely smack to that particular point. If you're going to reduce the parking lot by half or a third, that means that if you are actually successful and we are able to attract more people to come, they'll have nowhere to park. So I'm really looking forward to the people in Rye that complain about when we have like major events like 4th of July and people are parking all over the place and the complaints that they have about that, to hear that scenario. Rye is one of our most affluent communities with property values that are in the millions of dollars for many of those properties. I don't think that Playland's had a negative effect on those particular individuals. Certainly the people that live around Playland bought those houses, and Playland was already there. So I kind of think that we'll go through that process and see. Again, there's good ideas in all the proposals. And I believe, if I remember correctly, when the RFP came back, that the county executive said something along the lines, well, we wish we could take pieces of all of them. And quite frankly, we can. So if we really want to do that, the board's going to go through its due diligence and determine. But based on all the things that we have going on right now, I don't see anything happening for that in the near future, like within the next 2 months. The county executive had 2 years to review this proposal. It was done in a clandestine way. It was not open to the public as far as the detailed work was concerned, and we need to do that, and that's the only thing that's going to be good for Westchester. Shine some sunshine on it, and we'll see what the transparency brings out. But the question, as you raised, the subgroups, because it's not one group, it's kind of like 15 or 20 different groups, may have some questionable connection to the administration as far as contributors are concerned. So.
Well, and just to, I'm sure you keep your ear to the ground, but you can feel the groundswell right through these headphones from our callers. And again, we're not just talking about people from distressed communities that like to go up there for the weekend. We're talking about people who themselves come from Tony communities who don't like the smell of this. 741. There's a vague sense. Another issue I just want to get your feedback on this, sir. There's a sense that there's more tension, and perhaps because there are more votes between the Republicans and the Democrats on the counting board than, let's say, in past years. Is there any basis for that? Or is it just a sensibility that maybe we're a bit paranoid about?
Well, something, I think that some of it is purely political. I mean, the Board of Legislators traditionally has had a collegial relationship, and, that's kind of like a deterioration in all of legislative type politics or politics in general, where things are so polarized. But, for the board, we've always had a collegial relationship. As we say, the majority of our votes are on a unanimous basis. So whenever you see those votes start to break, on, 9-8 or, 10-7, then, it's just a political thing from, the political side on the Republicans that said, oh, we just can't give, quote unquote, give the Democrats this particular vote. I mean, I look at it and say that, where are we in a place when we can't have open and honest debate and people talk through the issues? It doesn't mean that because it came from a Democrat it was wrong, or because it came from a Republican it was wrong. We really need to get past that particular point, and people want that type of leadership. And quite frankly, our whole political environment isn't allowing that kind of level of debate and discussion right now.
It is coming up on 7:43. Ken Jenkins, the chair of the County Board of Legislators, is our guest this morning. We've been talking about Rye Playland. We've been talking about the relationship between the Republicans and Democrats on the board. What announcements do you have to make this morning, sir?
Well, today we are signing the lease for the Children's Museum. The Board of Legislators, in a unanimous vote, by the way, supported the Children's Museum, and we took several. I mean, it's from 2001. This is not something that happened last night. We've been working on this thing from a county perspective from 2001, and today is going to be a good day for the people of the Westchester Children's Museum that have spent already $2 million in half of the bathhouse, which we had to alienate. We had to do state legislation to allow for the purpose of a children's museum and nothing else. So I kind of think there's going to be a great day for that. There'll be a little bit of partisan bickering because the Republicans will say that we're moving forward on something that we don't have the authority to do. Well, they need to read legislation and read what they voted for, because the lease requires the chairman of the board to sign it. And that just happens to be me right now. Maybe somebody else later on.
And if I may, kudos to the whole board. We covered that event yesterday with the beat, with the bus, the enhanced bus services for seniors. It was very well done, and kudos to the whole board for that.
Very good. So, and that's what we're looking for. We're going to keep working on that. We have that's going on today, and we're also going to hear for the doom and gloom of 2013.
Okay, thank you very, very much. The chair of the County Board of Legislators, Ken Jenkins. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you so much.